So we get to my house and we go in through the back door. This is going to sound weird, but I don't know if you've ever washed a really greasy pan, like fried chicken pan. The water gets all grungy and gross, but if you put like a drop of dish soap in the water at the top, it just kind of whoosh, all that oil goes off to the sides. That's sort of what it felt like in my house when that man walked in. Every screaming being that had been in there for a couple of weeks at this point just moved the hell out of his way, off to the edges. It was like he bulldozed a path through all of the chaos. I didn't follow him. I didn't go upstairs. He walked through the kitchen slowly. Everything got out of this man's way. He walked into the living room, and then he stopped at the foot of the stairs and he looked up the landing into the mirror like my cat had done before he got let loose. He went up the stairs. Trevin and I stayed in the kitchen, not talking. And he came back downstairs and said, "Are you planning on living here for much longer?" I said, I don't really have anywhere else to go. This is kind of my home. And he said, "I don't know what you've done here, but you've opened a doorway that I don't know if it can ever be shut. I would suggest you leave. There's nothing I can do, and I don't know anybody who can help you." At this point, I was terrified that somebody was going to get hurt. I wasn't sleeping. Like I said, I had a newborn. I just couldn't. I was done. So that night, I packed what I could fit in my car, and I literally left with what I could carry. Clothes, a few personal things. I didn't tell anybody where I was going. I never saw Trevin again. Don't know what happened to her. And moved as far away as I could afford to move. The fact that there was nobody to call, there was nobody who could help me, nobody who believed me, I think that was almost more terrifying than everything that was going on. And that followed me for years. So many years after that, I couldn't look myself in the mirror. I couldn't look at my own eyes because I didn't feel like it was me that was looking back at me. Every night for years, it didn't matter where I lived, it didn't matter what house it was. I lived in multiple different states. The man with the black cat would walk through the back wall of my house at 8:45, walk all the way through the house and out the front of the house, through the walls. My kids saw him, and I was terrified. I knew he was there so that I would kill myself. It almost happened once. I lived in terror of this stuff for years before my accident, when my guide showed up and said, "Do you know what you are? And are you tired of being afraid?" So this wasn't just I saw dead people in my room when I was a kid and I was traumatized. This was years of traumatic abuse from things that only I could see. When people call me with outrageous stories that always begin with, "You're going to think I'm totally nuts," but I'm not going to think you're totally nuts. I'm going to ask some questions, and we're going to rule out the things that might be obvious, and then we're going to figure out how to fix it. And it is so easy to fix. Oh my God. If I had known then what I know now, it would never have escalated to the point that it did. It would have been over with within a day. Most of these things can be fixed within literal minutes. It's not very often that I even have to go back and make a second pass. So the fact that my guides took the thorough time that they did in that 18 months after my accident to help me understand that they weren't bad, they weren't evil, giving me feedback, real-time feedback every day on the things that they were telling me that I could verify and understand that they were actually the good guys and that they were on my side I will be forever grateful, and I understand what a unique learning situation that was, and I'm so grateful for it. I've seen people on the internet that charge $3,000 to do this type of clearing. Please don't pay money to those folks, please. Anyone who is willing to take advantage of someone who was in the state of mind that I was in at the time that this happened to me is so immoral. So immoral. You don't take advantage of people when they're in that state. You just help them. So be aware, know that this stuff is fixable, imminently fixable, and you don't have to live in fear. Nobody does. It's easy to fix. It happens, but the more you know, right?